Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotworld.com, and I'm so looking forward to doing your 2015 tarot forecast. So this year I'm using my favorite New Year's spread, and if you want to do this spread on your own, I'm going to put the link to the spread that I'm using in the description of this video. So if you want to see, what each position means and try this one out for yourself, you can do that. So for this reading, I'm using the Crystal Visions Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with the first card. Now, the first card represents what we need to know as we go into 2015. So what we need to be aware of as we start the new year. And we've got the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands to me is a card of warning, and it's saying, don't take on too much this year. Don't be that person who says yes to everything and takes on ways too many responsibilities. So as you can see, here's a guy, he's on horseback, he's going uphill, and he's just bagged down with baggage. And I feel like for a lot of us, this is maybe how we actually feel going into the new year. We might feel like we have a lot of things weighing us down right now and a lot of baggage. Now, this can show up as physical baggage, so feeling like you have a lot of junk and things that you need to clear out of your home and get rid of. Or you might feel like you have a lot of emotional baggage and you have a lot of emotions that you haven't processed yet or dealt with. You might feel dragged down by the people in your life that you feel are maybe kind of draining you and asking too much of you, or have a lot of, expectations on you. Or you might just feel overburdened with, duties and responsibilities and things. So this is just a warning. If you feel like this now, be aware of it and be aware of what decisions you make as you move into the new year. So notice if you're the kind of person who, is always saying yes to things and taking on more responsibilities or buying more things and bringing more and more, things into your home that's making you feel cluttered. So just being aware of that and getting clear on, how do you want things to change and how are you going to make that happen by your choices and decisions moving forward. Okay, so moving on to the second card. And this card represents your goals for 2015 and how you can best achieve your goals and dreams. So here we have the Emperor, and the Emperor in this deck is actually one of my favorite cards. And the Emperor is all about, I want to say, being a rebel, but being a rebel and making your own rules and making your own decisions. And 2015 is the year for you to do this. So this is the year for you to really, getting clear on what's important to you, what your values are, but also what rules you live by. And these might be different from the rules that other people live by, and making a commitment to yourself to follow those rules, following your own rules. And another thing about this card is that this card is often about, willpower and using your willpower to make things happen and to create what you want. But it's also about standing firm in your willpower. Now, the downside to this card is sometimes, the character of the Emperor can be kind of stubborn, and he can kind of be too into his own rules and his own values and exclude, outside influences and be kind of like, my way is the highway. So you want to watch out for that this year, but that's not ultimately what your goal is. Your goal is to be able to, get in touch with your will, and strengthen your will, being able to, follow your own rules and do things your way this year. You may have, previous years you may have done things other people's way, or you may have gone through phases of learning and, learning different ways to do things and different ways to live and to be. And this year is about kind of stepping into your power and independence, and even kind of stepping out on your own a little bit and being more independent this year. So in terms of how you can best achieve your goals and dreams this year. You can best achieve your goals and dreams by getting in touch with your will and knowing that you have the power to make things happen, to see things through and carry things out if those things are important to you and if those things, make you feel good and make sense to you and your value system and the rules that you live by. Okay, so moving on. Now, this card represents action, and it represents the actions that you're going to want to take in 2015. And so we have the Ace of Pentacles, and I always love getting an ace in a reading because the aces symbolize, new beginnings, exciting, new projects and fresh starts. So here we have the Ace of Pentacles, and it's representing action and the kind of action you want to take in 2015. So you want to take, well, physical action because the Suit of Pentacles is about, the home, the body, money. This is the most physical, kind of down to earth suit. So this is about taking real world action. It's not necessarily about, meditation or connecting with spirit guides or getting in touch with our emotions. I mean, those are all things that we're going to be doing anyway, but the focus this year is more on, at least where action is concerned, is more on kind of physical action. Now, Ace of Pentacles is about money. I feel like for many of us watching this year is going to finally be the year that we're able to bring in more money than we have in the past. And the reason for this is that a lot of the things that were blocking us financially were released, processed, and dealt with in 2014. And we're going to start seeing some of the results of that in 2015. So for many of us, with who's starting, your own business or starting a new job or some kind of creative project, expect to see financial returns on those, on those efforts and on those projects. This year is going to be a good year for many of us financially, and especially in terms of feeling like you have the ability to improve your finances with, real world physical action. There's something else I want to say about this card, about action, taking out. Oh, yes. The Suit of Pentacles is about health. And I know this is going to sound cliche, going into the new year. I know a lot of people start diets and exercise programs and stuff like that. But the Ace of Pentacles is, about a fresh start, and the Suit of Pentacles is about the body. So this is starting fresh with your body. As you move into 2015, it's going to be important for you, more so than other years, to take care of your body in a way that is sensible and realistic and sustainable. So whatever you do, don't do any extreme diets or extreme exercise programs. This is about sustainability and taking care of your body in a way that's going to be manageable for you and in a way that feels good. So, having a regular exercise program that you can achieve, like maybe going for walks, 4 days a week or something like that. But this is about really getting grounded, taking care of yourself, and nourishing your body. And think of it as nourishing your body. So think of your relationship with your body in 2015 is going to be one of nourishment and taking care, not beating your body into submission or feeling guilty or anything like that, but really nourishing your body. Okay, so the next card represents 2014. So this is last year and kind of the lessons you learned in 2014. And this is kind of what things you've learned, what you're letting go of in order to fully enter the new year. And here we have Page of Swords. And Page of Swords for me is a difficult card. It can sometimes represent feeling kind of mentally unstable, dealing with mental instability. So some people might have dealt with, mental issues last year, in 2014, and some of us may have experienced this not as necessarily mental health issues, but feeling really indecisive or unsure of ourselves and feeling just unstable, like mentally unstable. Not necessarily, totally crazy, but just mentally unstable. Like we weren't really sure what decisions to make. We weren't really sure what we wanted, or which direction to go in, or who to trust, or what to do, or how to feel. And that was something that we sort of navigated through in 2014. And things this year are starting to shift. As I'm looking at the emperor, the emperor has a very confident vibe to him, and this is how we're going to be achieving our goals, is stepping into that role as this confident person and having confidence in ourselves. 2014, we maybe didn't feel as confident, but things are starting to shift. And moving on to the middle card, and this is actually the most exciting card in the reading, I think. This card represents the overall general theme of 2015. And I think my last year's reading, I think it might have been the devil. So I'm glad that this year we've got sort of a more a more upbeat card for the theme of 2015. So here we have strength, and to me, this is a very, very powerful card. So we have the card of strength as our main theme of 2015. And this can mean a few different things. On on a kind of not a negative side, but one side of this is that 2015, we are going to be challenged in various ways. Probably in all areas of our life, we're gonna be challenged. Not necessarily challenged where we can't get through things or it's really horrible. Not necessarily that kind of challenge, but where we need to learn new skills to deal with the new issues in the various areas of our life, and we need to kind of change how we've been dealing with things in order to kind of meet the new challenges and needs that are coming up for us in various areas of our life. Another thing I get with the strength card, and I'm kind of comparing it to the emperor because I feel like the emperor and strength have a similar energy. They have similar coloring. They're both strong cards. They're both cards of confidence. But the strength card is a little bit different from the emperor in that this is about a gentle, quiet kind of confidence. So this isn't about, bulldozing your way into a room and making everyone do things your way. That's not what this card is about. This card is about being gentle with others and being gentle with yourself in order to kind of keep things calm, keep things stable, and keep things strong, really. So I'm going to come back to this card because there's a couple more things I want to say about strength, but for the time being, I want to move on to the next card. Okay, now here we have the Four of Wands, and this card represents the future energies of 2015. So these are kind of the opportunities that may present themselves to us in this new year. Now, the Four of Wands, to me, is a card of domestic bliss. It can sometimes symbolize a wedding, so either getting married or attending a wedding of some sort. It can also represent either getting a new home or just feeling, more happy and grounded and stable in the home that you're already in. It also symbolizes relationship stability. So either, if you're single and you're wanting a relationship, it can represent getting into a really good relationship that feels really good and stable. And if you're already in a relationship, it can represent the deepening and strengthening of that relationship. But as for opportunities, the opportunities that will present themselves, I think for a lot of us will be around might be around relationship, home, family, community. I get a strong sense of community with the Four of Wands. So we might have the opportunity to start a community or be more involved in community. But I think many of us are going to have more of a connected feeling to our various communities that we're in whether that's, an online community or, your actual community that you live in, or there's many sub communities within your communities, like even like a course that you're taking, that's kind of like a mini kind of community. um, but looking at the Four of Wands, there's something else that's coming to me. I just need a minute to process it. The Suit of Wands is about energy and passion, but the Four of Wands is about grounding that energy and passion so that it feels good and stable, and it's not really, really out of control or exciting or stressful. So this is actually a card of relaxation and not being stressed out. So, comparing it to the first card, the Ten of Wands, which is about, taking on lots of responsibilities and feeling like you have a heavy load that you need to carry. The Four of Wands is about, letting go of that load and just enjoying the present moment, enjoying where you live, enjoying your family, your home life. So it's a very warm, kind of fuzzy card. So moving on to the next card, this card represents the obstacles that you may face in 2015. And I'm just going to move these cards up so you can see the titles. This represents obstacles that you might face and how you can best overcome them. So we've got the Three of Wands, and as you can see, there's a woman and she's perched on like a little cliff ledge. She's holding a glowing ball of light, and she's looking down on this road that seems to be winding off into the mountains. And she seems to be like contemplating. So, in terms of obstacles, I feel like 2015 for many of us are going to be filled with kind of moments where we might feel the need to just stop and contemplate, where we might feel a little bit unsure as to what direction we want to take, where we're going, what our purpose is or what our path is. Um, and we might tend to kind of overthink things here. And it's not really an obstacle. This is just something that will kind of slow us down a little bit. Like we might be a little bit unsure of ourselves, and we might need to just stop and take stock, and to make our decision. And we'll need time to contemplate. So it's not so much an obstacle as just something that might slow us down on our path. Now, how you can overcome this obstacle is getting perspective. As you can see, this woman is up on a cliff. She's looking down. She sees the road from a distance, so she has kind of more of a bird's eye view than if she were on the road. So if you're ever doubting, the path that you're on or the decisions that you're making, or where it is that you're putting your energy, if you're ever doubting that or not sure what to do, see if you can get some distance and perspective. So when I say that, I mean, look at your life, see yourself kind of uh, rising above your life as if you're looking down on it, and as if it's like a map, and you can see, the past, things you've done in the past, where you've come from, and where you are now. And that gives you a little bit more perspective when you kind of step back and look at things. And, doing things that help you get perspective, like meditation is one. Sometimes journaling helps. Talking with others doesn't always help us get perspective. Sometimes it does, like if you're talking to a counselor where you're not going to be judged, and they aren't necessarily going to give you tons and tons of advice. That can be really helpful. But sometimes when we need perspective, we think we have to tell our friends about it and get help, and that sometimes that's helpful, but other times it just makes us even more confused. So often when we need perspective, spending time alone can be very helpful. And then as you move on to the next card, we've got the Page of Cups, and this card represents the talents that you're going to be expressing this year in 2015. Now, the Page of Cups is a very artistic card, and pages are young, so this is about learning something new. And of course, the Suit of Cups is all about emotions, relationships, and creativity. So I feel that this year is going to be the year for many of us to actually take classes or learn some kind of creative skill, whether it's painting or art, or even acting, singing, something that feels very creative for you, or writing or something. But this is about really honing in on those abilities and those talents, because you have a natural talent. I mean, everyone has some kind of natural talent for something creative, but this is the year that you start to really uncover it and experience it and be able to express it in the world. So that's very exciting. Um, but the Page of Cups is very in touch with her emotions. And she's able to use her emotions and her feelings for inspiration for how she acts in the world. So this is something that you will be doing this year. You're going to feel more in touch with your emotions. And instead of, I mean, this can kind of sometimes feel scary if you have strong emotions, but instead of fear, you're going to feel more curious about your feelings this year than you have in the past. And you're going to have an enhanced ability to use those feelings and use that self knowledge to create. To create and to inspire others and connect with others. Now, um, the last card represents kind of the parting message of the reading, one last thing that we need to know, and also how we can best approach 2015. So we've got Nine of Pentacles, which is probably next to the Ace. This might be one of my favorite Pentacle cards. The Nine of Pentacles is all about luxury. It's about feeling relaxed and at ease, particularly around money and physical things. And I feel like this is a nice kind of pairing with the Ace of Pentacles, and what I said about the Ace of Pentacles, and this being a year that finances are going to be better for most people. And the Nine of Pentacles, I think, is kind of reiterating that and just kind of strengthening that message. And as you go into 2015, focus on feeling abundant. Even if your mind is telling you that you're not, this card is about feeling abundance in your body and, noticing life's little luxuries. So, stopping to smell the roses, or, really just delighting in the feel of the sun on your skin, or the breeze, or the sounds of birds and water, things like that. Or just the sounds of, music, or the taste of food. Just really paying attention to the physical senses, and really grounding that feeling of abundance and feeling really, lucky and abundant in your life. And I feel like that is kind of one of the most important things you can do as you move into this new year. And especially at this time, when you're setting your intentions, you're making new goals, you're having a vision for 2015 and what you'd like that year to be like. It helps if you're in this kind of state of mind. And another thing about the Nine of Pentacles, this is a card of experiencing luxury without having to work for it. And I know a lot of people are going to maybe frown on that. It seems to be kind of taboo. But this is about, enjoying things without feeling like you had to sacrifice to get those things. So even like I said before, just enjoying nature or something like that. Just noticing the abundance around you instead of enjoying the abundance that you may have worked really hard for. Even though there's nothing wrong with that, sometimes when we do that, we kind of strengthen that belief that you have to work really, really hard in order to relax or enjoy something, when really that's not true. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind as you move into the new year, because when you have that belief that you can be abundant and be comfortable and enjoy life without having to stress out and work super hard, um, your beliefs will shape the kinds of experiences you have and the kind of opportunities that you'll notice in 2015. And I feel like it actually stands in stark contrast to the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is a card of striving and of working like really, really hard, whereas the Nine of Pentacles is a card of relaxation and just kicking up one's feet and just kind of enjoying things as they are. So we're almost at the end of the reading, but I did say I wanted to come back to the Strength card. And I actually want to just kind of take a step back from all these cards and just see if I notice any repeating themes or anything that jumps out at me. And if you're watching this and you're seeing something that's standing out for you, please feel free to comment about it in the comment section. I'm not seeing anything that's really jumping out. I do see a lot of birds. We've got birds, 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 birds. There's a lot of birds on these cards. And again, I think this is about getting that bird's eye view and being able to kind of rise above things and see things as they are. When you're down in the thick of things, and you're living your day-to-day life, it can be hard to have perspective or to get distance on things. So doing whatever it takes to get distance on things so that you can really see things clearly this year. And meditation is one really powerful way to do that. So coming back to the Strength card and what it means for this year, now that we've looked at all the cards, we've I've talked about each one individually and what it can mean for this year. Coming back to Strength, I just want to say that I feel like a lot of us, I feel like the lion represents, for many of us, can represent external challenges. So, people in our lives, situations, and maybe goals that we're working on. So things that we feel challenged by. But it also represents kind of our inner beast. So the inner things that challenge us too. So it could be, our habits that we want to change, or even our I don't know if this card really represents this, but even your shadow self, your dark side. But the suggestion of this card is all about gentleness. So as you can see, the maiden who's with the lion is, gently kind of holding the lion's jaw. She's not trying to dominate the lion or chain him up or anything. She's just being really gentle with him. And I feel like that is the theme this year. I mean, we're going to have lots of things that challenge us in a way that's exciting, in a way that feels, I don't use the word fun, but in a way that feels engaging and in a way that kind of energizes us. So challenges that are energizing rather than challenges that are draining. We're going to feel challenged this year, but the key is to be gentle with ourselves and be gentle with those around us. So even though, we've got the Emperor here and he's all about willpower, making things happen, making your own rules, being very masculine and proactive about things. But then we have the Strength card, which is about kind of balancing that with being gentle. So being very, like I said, gentle on ourselves, watching our self-talk, not being hard on ourselves, and also being very gentle with those around us. So noticing how, people react differently to us when we are gentle with them, when we don't try to push our agenda on them or try to make them see things our way, when we just kind of, accept their opinion and then calmly say, how we feel about things. This is one way that you can kind of be more gentle in your interactions with others. And I feel like that is kind of one of the big themes of 2015. It looks like it's going to be a really powerful year. This card is all about, in my opinion, kind of life purpose and continuing to, walk our path that we're on. And then, we have creativity is coming into the mix, new emotions coming up, confidence, gaining confidence, stepping into our powers. Ace of Pentacles is about starting new projects, maybe bringing in a little bit more money this year. And then we've got the Four of Wands, which is about a stable home life. So overall, it looks like a really excellent year. I'm looking forward to this year. It feels actually a lot calmer than last year. Last year, it felt like there was a lot of challenges and a lot of, instability here and there. Whereas this year, it feels like the energy is calming down. There's still challenges. Um, there's still going to be challenges. There's still all that stuff, like there always is. But the energies feel calmer. They feel more supported, and they just feel, I guess, I want to say safer, but they just feel calmer and more grounded. So I want to wish you the best of luck in 2015. I really hope that you've found this reading helpful and that you found something in it that has been of value to you. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to do your own reading using the same spread, I'm going to post the link to this spread. It's on my website. So I'll post the link in the description below this video if you want to check that out. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Kate. I'm from dailytarotgirl.com, and if you want to learn more about tarot card reading, you can visit my site, dailytarotgirl.com. There's all kinds of fun stuff on there. So there's quizzes, there's tarot spreads, there's how to read tarot videos, daily or weekly readings, all that stuff on there. So if you're interested, please check it out and have a wonderful 2015.